Okay, hey everyone, welcome to our early morning power hour. My name is Megan Goff. For those of you who aren't on my team and we haven't met yet, I'm a homeschool mom. We live in the middle of nowhere, kind of. Live in a little tiny town, less than 1,000 people, no stoplights. Live on a farm, 6 kids. We homeschool, all the things. So I have worked my Plexus business while my people were sleeping. That's how I built my team. Pretty much. When I had started, my baby was just 3 months old, and so it was kind of a way for me to redeem some of that sit in the rocking chair and nurse the baby all the time. And so I would just, at the beginning of the week, I just pray that God would put people in my heart and that He would bring people to me. And I was consistent with posting, and I was like in all my spare time, I was connecting with people. I was reaching out and specifically asking them and letting them know about Plexus. So that's that's how I grew my team very quickly. And so one thing I wanted to share with you all this morning is that's what I did. That's how I got to Emerald in 11 months. And that's how I went to Sapphire and Diamond, is I continued to initiate conversations, I should say, and then help people get started. I don't want them to be in my funnel for too long. I want to help them get started. And so my encouragement to you all is to initiate conversations. Guys, we have triple credits for Leaders Retreat contest. I mean, that's not the reason why we just reach out and work hard, but I'm saying sometimes when there's a little push behind or there's some pressure, that creates some more urgency for us to connect and go back and check in with people and check in with those people that we sent samples to, all the things. In my first year of Plexus, I didn't do a whole lot of personal growth outside of reading my Bible, which is personal growth, by the way. My husband reminded me of that. But now I'm very consistent, or I try to be consistent with reading personal growth books. And I would just say 2 things that I did before this power hour was I got up and exercised. When you exercise, you release healthy hormones and you operate at a higher energy level than if you just roll out of bed and start messaging people. So tip number 1 is make sure your energy levels are high, because that impacts your messaging, that impacts, as you connect and talk with people. So that's super important. And then also I did read out of my book this morning, and a couple things I thought were really good I was going to share with you guys. So this is a John Maxwell book. I really like his books. I think they're excellent. And I will say really quick, I believe that we learn personal growth by doing this business. So if you are someone that literally does not have 15 extra minutes to even read, one thing I would recommend is Audible, because you can stick an earbud in when you're doing other things, so you're maximizing your time. And you can also, like when I'm in the car, I don't just chill or listen to music. Like I listen to something that's going to grow me. And guess what? My kids get to hear it too a lot of times. So I thought this was really good. He said, when you become a leader, you have to raise your standards. You must do more than you expect of others. And then this goes along with what I was talking about with initiating conversations, is he says, effective leaders initiate. If you want to be, effective leaders initiate. They communicate vision. They seek out opportunities. They start initiatives that will benefit the organization, and they initiate with people too. And that's something that I was thinking about, is like, I did have some people come to me because of posting consistently on Facebook, but I would only be a fraction of successful as I am today in Plexus if I wouldn't have done the scary thing to initiate with people. And I don't think that we have to even put the blanket statement on it that it's scary. It's just a lot of times maybe something outside of our skill set or something that we've done before. But like, if we don't engage people, like we can't grow this thing like that. It takes initiation from our part, and it takes connecting and creating conversations with other people. I also liked this. He was talking about growth. And I think that as we learn this business, we just learn the skill set, and we fine tune our skills. That's a sign of growth, because you're willing to try new things. You're willing to do things that are maybe uncomfortable or feel a little bit like, oh, I've never done this before. But in the act of doing that thing will help you get better at it. And it'll also create wins for you, because as you do those scary things, those are the things that usually move the needle forward in your business. But he says, growth is the great separator of those who succeed long term from those who do not. As time goes by, the gap that separates those who grow intentionally and those that don't widen. If you're young now, you may not see a gap, but as you age, you will. It is the capacity to develop and improve their skills that distinguishes leaders from followers. So the short answer is that if you want to be a leader, you need to keep growing. And I think that he also goes on to say that if we want to be ready for the next opportunity, we have to be in growth mode now. And he says when it arrives, if we wait till it arrives, the opportunity, then we'll be too late to prepare. So the time to get ready now is now. And so I think the thing is, as we work our business, we get better at the skills, and then that is what we are going to use to teach other people. Like, okay, this is what I did. Here's what you guys need to do, right? So feel free to put any questions. Oh, the book I'm reading is Good Leaders Ask Great Questions by John Maxwell. And I'm also reading URIA Bad ASS. I'm not reading it, I'm listening to it on Audible. So sometimes when I'm not able to like sit and read a book, I will listen to something in the shower, or, just feed my brain in some way. But when I was stretching this morning, I was reading a book. So I know multitasking isn't that great, but sometimes you can maximize your time by doing two things at once. Okay, so let's get to work. So I gave you 2 tips for IPA. Pre-popping on and connecting with people. So that's exercise, so you're increasing your energy levels, and also personal growth, reading, prayer, meditation. That's all super, super important to get our heart and mind in the right place. And then I'm just going to share with you what I'm doing. So with these triple credits for Leaders Retreat, like every person that you personally sign is worth a lot. And I need to look up the numbers exactly. If you all have the numbers on that, you can share them. But I know it's a lot. So every personally sponsored ambassador. So I'm going to be circling back through. I have a list of people that I have been chatting with recently. We were camping over the weekend with no Wi-Fi, and so I have to intentionally connect with some of those people. So everyone may have different people you're connecting with today. So maybe you're branding new and you're just going off of a list that you created. Maybe the list, what is it, leads you may know, or something, sheet where you filled out people that you want to connect with about Plexus. So that's great. If that's you, perfect. Some of you operate off the Dough app, so that just gives you 5 people every day to connect with. And I would say it's go time. So my personal highest income producing thing right now to do is to connect with the people I've already chatted with. So I have tons of follow-up lists that I'm working through, but let's mute for 15 minutes. And let's see, it's 7:10. So we'll mute for 15 minutes. If y'all have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask me, or put them in the comments and I'll answer them. But I'm going to be connecting with some of the girls that I have been chatting with the past couple weeks. So, all right, hi-ho, here we go. Hey, I think there's a lot of people in the boat. Nisa, is it Nisa? Nisa, that don't have a lot of leadership retreat credits yet. And I have people asking like, okay, so what's my strategy? I'm like, y'all have to recruit. Like, you have to add new ambassadors, new customers, and help people go silver. Like, that's the thing. And how you do that, you had to talk to people. But I put a post on my team page by Abby Kappa called From Zero Credits to Earning San Diego. And so she has 5 steps. I don't know if you saw that one, but the first one is to add 6 new level ones so you get the Nikes. Step 2 is help 3 people go silver. Step 3 is um, help more people go silver. Step 3, you can go read through it. Make sure to hit 200 PV so that you have 20 extra credits. And then to fill in the extra gap of missing credits, you can rank up. You can help a level 2 go silver, which is 50 credits. Help 3 more level 1s start with a 199 pack. That's 60 more credits. And then if you hit 500 PV during this month or next, you get 50 more credits. So if you do that in this month and in August, then you're going to be there. So, but I would say that this next till the 24th, when those credits are tripled, like live it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it, like I would, if I was in that position and I was committed to hitting that goal, like I wouldn't sleep very much. that would be my job for that amount of time to get it done. So yeah. Okay, back to messaging. Okay, how are messages coming? I'm I'm mainly following up with people that I have chatted with already, and I'm just sending messages like, some of them I'm following up with from the event that I had last week. So, morning, I would love to hear what you tracked with. Curious if you're ready to get started. I am helping people get started today. So I mean, if it's someone that I'm following up with, I just am super clear, like, hey, let's get you started. There's only so many testimony times that you need to be in before you make a decision. So some of them I'm following up with about samples that I sent last week or the week before as well. So usually my goal is just to get a response back. So, okay. Well, one thing I'm going to do now is circle back through some of my wholesaler people and some of my new people and let them know about a special that I'm personally offering. So one thing that I'm going to do to help people go silver is offer to, if they add 3 people before the end of July, if they get, their mom, their BFF, their sister, their hubby on board, I'm gifting back a manicure or pedicure or a gift card for a date night. So I was going to let them know about that and see if that's something that they're interested in. So I think one of the biggest things with getting people to duplicate, I mean, there's 2 things. One, you recruit business builders. That's the most efficient way to build a team in Plexus. And I know my husband was listening to Jim Rohn the other day, and he said something to the effect of, quit trying to make ducks into eagles, just recruit eagles. And so to me, that says, if you're reaching out about the business, you're posting about the business, I mean, you're going to attract people into your business that are going to duplicate, and that's what you need. I have a lot of people that have started 4 products, and a lot of those people have become business builders. And I was one of those people. So never discount the fact that even if you are getting product users, happy product users can turn into really great ambassadors. So keep that in mind. But one thing to get to help those people duplicate, because Power of 3 is where it's at. I mean, if you're silver trying to get to super silver, helping people go silver is going to be huge. And people don't have to be business builders to add 3 people. They can just, I mean, you can just initiate the conversation. A lot of times what I'll say is just, one, when I'm signing them up over the phone or messaging them after they've gotten signed up, I'll just say, hey, here's your product information. I did want to see what your thoughts were about sharing, because if you help 3 people in your first 14 days, you make $422. And then let them tell you what their thoughts are, because a lot of people are kind of intrigued with that. I'm also not afraid anymore to tell them, like, hey, my goal is to always help people get their products paid for so they don't have to budget for it. What are your thoughts about sharing? Most people are open to the idea, but they don't know what to do. So I baby step with them. So I will say, well, if you're interested, then I'll help you make your first post. And some of the people that I'm going to be reaching out to, I'm going to just be saying, hey, let's make your post today. If I send you what to say, will you post it? And I literally write it out for them, send it, and then they just put a picture with it. So I think walking with people is super key, and opening up that conversation to find out if they're interested. Because once you know that they are, then you can help them add 3 people, and your team will grow quicker because you're multiplying the amount of people sharing, right? So that only makes sense. So let me know if any of you have particular questions about that, but I'm going to move on to messaging some of my newer people and some of my wholesale people to let them know about my special for going silver. Do I always do the same type of shout out post? You mean like for the first post? I typically do. It's just the generic, hey friends, I'm starting some new natural supplements that my friend Megan told me about. It's helped her with her gut health, her sleep, and her energy. Curious if anyone wants to try it with me. If it's someone that has already been on the products for a while, then I encourage them to write their own little version of it It doesn't have to look like that necessarily, but just to give them like a blueprint to go off of, I think it's important, if they have a testimony of some sort, to write that out. I think for a lot of people, they feel like they have to give their whole life history in a post, so they procrastinate on it and they avoid it because it's going to take brain space and some time. But I'm like, they can write a couple sentences and just let them know. The other thing too is if you have a business builder, I think I saw this on the Jewel page. I thought it was so smart. Is the gal had written a email to like close friends, family, and just prepped them by saying, "Hey, before any of you think that like aliens hacked my Facebook account, I was just gonna let you know that I've been using some supplements that have really helped my health, and I'm gonna start sharing about them and working a business with it, and wanted to let you guys know. So if you're interested in looking at supplements to help you guys get healthier, I'd love to talk with you. Or if you're looking," and so she kind of opened up that conversation, and I thought it was so wise because sometimes looking back on when I started, it was like an organic thing for me. Like I just kind of threw it out on Facebook to see if anything would happen. Um, but I thought that that girl was really thoughtful and intentional of making that email with close friends and family in mind, because sometimes those are the people that are the most resistant to us doing something like this, and just getting it out there like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I don't want any weirdness. And so I thought that was really a great thing to do. So for people that know they're going all in, full force, they're going to do this, I thought that was a fun way of prepping friends and family. I do recommend definitely contacting individuals, um, privately and intentionally, the people in your close circle. But it was so just organic for me. I just kind of threw it on Facebook and I went silver because of three rando people. um, One was a good friend that I hung out with a lot at the time, and then two others were just um, acquaintances that I didn't really know. So, anyways, do you have them tag you? Well, I have my Facebook set so that I can only approve tags. So they will tag me, um, but I don't approve it on my wall usually. Otherwise, yeah, people tag me a lot all the time, and I don't want my Facebook wall with all that. You know what I mean? So I have control over who tags me and what. But sometimes I'll have them tag me in the comments, especially if they're not my level ones. I'll just say, "Hey, do you made your first post? That's so awesome. Be sure to tag me in the comments." Like the first 15 minutes of a post is so important. So the more tags or the more like comments that they can get, the better. And sometimes I don't see notifications because I get so many and I don't live in Facebook. So I'll just say, make sure you tag me, and then I can kind of go see it easily. So anyways, yes, feel free to ask more questions. I'm going to mute myself, but I can pop back on and answer some questions too. Okay, so here's what I sent one of my new ambassadors. So, hey, morning, Rosalie. Curious if you saw the tag for the active video. Also, would you be game for making a quick post on Facebook if I sent you what to say? Emojis. Curious emoji. Also, just a quick FYI, I'm doing this fun little incentive for my new peeps. If you had 3 friends as ambassadors before the end of July, I'm gifting either a mani or pedi or a gift card of your choice for a date night. Chat soon. So that's what I'm going to be copy and pasting to a lot of my new people. Okay, so Lori, your question about struggling. I struggle with thinking I'm sounding salesy and not genuine. So I think with that, I think if you, I think if you're worried about sounding salesy, you will be. From when people tell me like they feel like that or they're afraid of being that way, and then they send me their wording, I'm like, yeah, that was salesy. I guess my thought is talk to them in a message like you would in person. That's my thoughts. Because I don't know. Well, what did I just send someone? Oh, one of my girls. Well, we kind of like swapped. She's a makeup girl, and so I bought her makeup. She bought Plexus. Um, but I just messaged her and I'm like, "Morning, Larissa. Goodness, girl, I've been horrid at following up with you about your regimen." And then I did like the little monkey face, and then a couple emojis like, so sorry. How's it going? So even like in my follow-ups, I feel like you just have to be honest with people, and if you want them on your team, tell them and just say, "Hey, I have been totally procrastinating reaching out to you because I was scared to talk to you, or I don't want to like I don't want you to feel awkward, but I think you would be really, really great at Plexus. You just are a people person. I know that you love so well, and that's what that Plexus is all about. Is like helping people with their health, and just curious if you've ever considered it. I think you'd be great at it. If you're reaching out to them about the business, if it's about the products, I always just, yeah, I just say, hey, I totally thought of you. Not sure if this is even anything that you've thought about or would be interested in, but that I should just let you know in case you have thought about it, or if you know of someone that could really benefit from Plexus. It's helping people with, and then like list off those things. So usually when I reach out to people and I know, and I'm not sure where they're at, because some people, like, I know that they've complained about their IBS. So it's very organic for me to say, Jody, you need to try Plexus. It will help your IBS. Oh my word. Like, we're all about the gut microbiome. Um, if I sent you a quick video, would you check it out? Okay. If it's someone you know well, then you know they struggle with something. If it's someone that you have no idea about, then I frame it as you may or may not be interested, but I wanted to reach out to you because this is helping so many people. And I thought, even if you're not interested, maybe you know of someone that I could help, that kind of thing. Let me know if that helps. Running into close friends that are ignoring or avoiding you, in person or in Messenger. I would say it all goes back to relationship. I remember Emily Gibson saying, if someone's like not interested, then you just go back to like complete relationship. And it depends on your relationship with them. Like if they're BFFs with you, then um, I would just bring it up in person, be like, hey, do not feel awkward about Plexus. Like if you don't want to do it with me, that's totally fine. Um, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes those relationships are the hardest because those are the people closest to you that love you a lot and they don't see what you see type of thing. They don't see the vision for it, obviously, yet. So I think it goes back to just relationship building. And sometimes it's helpful to address the elephant in the room. If you feel like it's an elephant or if you feel like they're awkward about it, be like, hey, do not feel awkward about Plexus. Like if you don't want to try the products or you don't want to work the business with me, like no worries whatsoever. But sometimes if you're able to chat with them in person about it, sometimes they're able to tell you like why they're awkward. My sister did tell me, she said, because I have a lot of sisters and none of them have even tried Plexus, except my youngest because she's still at home and my parents do Plexus. But she just said, she's like, well, I think it's really awkward when I get messages and I don't respond back to people. And then I see them in person and I'm thinking, oh, I'm thinking about the thing that I never responded back to. And then I'm thinking they're thinking the same thing. And I'm like, I don't think that because I, I reach out to a lot of people and I don't hear back from a lot. So it's not something that I think of necessarily. So I think that almost they make it more awkward. I'm sorry, my dog is whining. I think they make it more awkward than it is. If they just say like, no, I'm not interested right now, like it dissolves any awkwardness. But I think when they feel obligated to respond with a yes, even though they don't want to respond with a yes, so they don't say anything. Hey, Maddie, can you take her in the shed, please? That they feel awkward about it. So one thing I learned from that conversation with my sister is that always give people an out and say, hey, if you are not interested, like do not feel awkward or weird or wonky. But hey, if you know of someone that I can help, like this is helping people with IBS, and I would list off the things. This is helping people with PCOS. Like if they're young and like think of some common things that younger people struggle with, or if they're in middle age or whatever, like things that would be applicable to them. So sometimes I feel like it's just an awareness of what it helps with. But it always goes back to relationship. Um, and if you're not awkward about it and you're just joyful and confident in what you're doing, I think that's inspiring to them. Like even if they're not ready now, I mean, you can acknowledge. I said no for 18 months, but it was because I didn't understand. I was like, oh, I'm not diabetic, and I don't need to lose weight. So I didn't understand and I had no relationship with the person that first introduced it to me. I had respected her from afar for a long time, but I wasn't like in relationship with her to be able to ask her questions or for her to ask me questions, right? So I think it definitely goes back to relationship for sure. And just changing the subject. Like if you get like crickets after several Plexus messages, then maybe message about something unrelated that's, whatever, just to relationship build. On a normal day, not working for a contest, how many reach outs did you do daily in the beginning of your journey? I worked it like it was a contest. Like, I had so much urgency and so much excitement. So I will say I dabbled myself to silver. So I just like posted inconsistently, like whatevs. I joined in February, went silver at the end of April. Um, but then when I went silver and watched Jarrett Abart's Diamond documentary, so I felt like I had a win, that I could do it, right? Belief in myself. And then I had a vision bigger than what I had originally saw with watching Jarrett Abart's Diamond documentary. And I'm like, if those people can create time freedom, I can create time freedom. And my husband was never home. We had 4 boys and 1 girl at the time. I had another baby in my 2-year journey to Diamond. So it was crazy, but I was up all hours of the night nursing, and like it was a way for me to redeem that time. So I was um I was like pedal to the metal. So how many reach outs did I do? I did as many as possible. Like I didn't go by numbers. I would just sit down with a big list. I printed off my Facebook friends list, and I still haven't made it through that. Like I feel like if I needed to recruit a whole new team and add 20 in 30 days or whatever, I can do it even just off of Facebook, not even Instagram, just because there's so many people on Facebook that still haven't tried Plexus yet. And I have lists and lists of people that I've created conversations with, but I haven't started yet. So, but I'm just not like in that season. But if I had to be, and sometimes there's different seasons in Plexus where I may have to go back into full on recruitment mode, um, I can do that, right? But I will say, if you haven't watched Eric Worre's How to Recruit 20 in 30 Days, go watch that, because that's something that I kind of did naturally without realizing what that was. But it's this idea that success loves speed, and the faster that you build your team, the quicker you're going to get business builders. And the 3 times that I set that intention, so I'll just say really quick, when I started, after I went silver, it was game on. Those 2 things, Jarrett's Diamond Doc and going silver, I was like, game on, how do I get to gold and how do I get there fast? And so I just like started connecting and reaching out to as many people as possible. And it was direct messaging about Plexus. It was not relationship building. It wasn't any of that. It was directly messaging about Plexus. And I was excited. I think that's one of the things, people join passion over anything else. So if you're excited, people that tell you no, or someone that's acting awkward to you at a picnic because you reached out about Plexus, or you feel like they are, I don't care. Like if they don't want to, that's fine. There's a ton of other people that are wanting to do Plexus that I can help. And there's a bunch of people that have come back and thanked me for reaching out to them and uh, getting them started on Plexus, because it's literally changed their life. Like, I think we have to frame things in that way and not be operating at this low energy level, like, oh shoot, like they don't want to start. Like, that's okay. Go find other people. There's a whole world out there outside your family and your close circle of friends. I live in a tiny town. Most of these people don't do Plexus, or they've tried it and then they quit. Most of my circle of the girls that I hang out with, like my little mama friends, like I feel like I'm kind of the older mom in my circle, because a lot of these girls are just starting to have their families and have babies. They don't do Plexus. There's like 2 or 3 in my town that do, and they are really successful. So I'm pumped about that. The girls that are in my town that do Plexus are success. They have the ranks to prove that it works, right? But where was I going with that? So when I started, I was full on pedal to the metal. And the success loves speed thing. So Eric Worre's thing. So I added as many as fast as possible to get myself to gold. Like my hubby, I signed him up even though he was super skeptical, to be my 20th person so I could go gold at the end of June. And then once he was signed up, I was like, great. And we added 20 people under him, because by that point he had kind of got over the skeptical thing, and he was a referral. So the people he was chatting with at work, he would just be like, hey, contact Megan, she'll help you get started. And so we funneled 20 people under him. But what happened during those 2 times where we funneled people really fast is that people naturally popped up as business builders, even though they were just starting for products. So it was maybe God's graciousness that even though I was not leading with the business, I was doing the business. So I think they caught what I was doing and started doing that, if that makes sense. But there's been 3 times that I've done the success, love, speed thing. So go listen to Eric Worre teach about that. It's basically like adding as many people as possible, like in a 30-day period, or in a weekend, or in a 2-week period, whatever amount of time that you have to set aside to just like personally recruit people. Um, I don't know that there was maybe 1 month. I'm not one of those people that can add 30 people really fast, but when I like focus in, I can recruit. Probably not that many people, but what has happened is the 3 times that I've done that, that's when business builders join my team, and some of them, it's from none of the new people that I add. It's from people that are existing on my team that decide to work. And I had one girl last year that had been on my, she had ordered products 18 months before. She was sick with Lyme. Finally tried the products April of last year, detoxed heavily, went silver, got her husband to silver, and then went ruby in 3 months. So all that to say, people on your current team, you probably have gold there. So do not give up on those people. Continue to circle back through and ask them what their thoughts are about sharing, or if they want to make a post yet, things like that. But putting yourself, it's like the speed of the leader, speed of the team. So if you put yourself and make personally recruiting your focus, it cures everything. It really does, because that's where the magic happens. What is your preferred message to those who you've never mentioned Plexus to before? It kind of depends on how I know them. Like if it's someone I know well, most of the people I've already contacted about Plexus, but if it's someone I know well, or it's not just like some random person I'm not sure how we became friends on Facebook with, I'm just really casual and say, hey, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post. Like, have you ever tried it? Or, hey, I'm reaching out to people about Plexus today because I'm so passionate about it. It's changed my life, and would love, would love to, what do I say? Would love to help you get started, or would love to see if you're intrigued about learning more about it. I don't know, just something like that, just to open up convo. Sometimes I say, hey, I don't know if you've seen my Plexus post yet, but I'm reaching out today because I have a special that I'm doing, and we just came out with this new product called Active. It's awesome for mom fuel. It's helping me feel really good. Curious if you'd be interested in trying it. So I'm like super direct when I message people. If it's someone I have no idea who they are, I'll just say, hey, I know this is super random. Like if I'm going through my like Facebook friends list or something, I'll just acknowledge like, hey, I know this is super random. Not sure if you've seen my Plexus posts. Not even sure how we became friends, but I'm reaching out about Plexus today. It's helping me with XYZ. I'm doing a little incentive for people that are intrigued with trying it. And, if you're not interested, totally fine. But if you know of someone that I could help, I'd love to connect with them. I also use Brooke Hemingway's message about, hey, you may be 1,000% not interested, but I wanted to reach out to you, that message. So that's what I say. Okay, it's 8:05. I gotta go. You guys have an awesome day. Guys, this Leaders Retreat contest is not over. It's not over till it's over. You have to decide, commit, go all in, and just be excited. Like we have so much to offer people with Plexus. So do not be shy. Make sure that you are pumped about what you're sharing about. Go make your posts. Do a product tester post. Do a live video. Do something bold, scary. If whatever you are avoiding or resisting, go do that today. Okay. And the things that you do today are going to impact what happens in 90 days. So there you go, for being consistent and for doing the things and for continuing to reach out and follow up. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. All right. Have a great day. Bye.